The gap that I wanted to fill, right, was almost like in Jerry Maguire, they're looking at the bottom line, they're not looking at the relationship.
What happens when you combine 26 years of PR mastery with the grit of Silicon Valley? You get a powerhouse agency that refuses to follow the status quo. Today's guest is Nicole Rodrigues, the founder and CEO of NRPR Group. From her early days with the Oakland Raiders to pioneering live stream television at Moby TV, Nicole has spent over a decade building a Beverly Hills-based agency that supports the world's most disruptive brands. We're diving into her famous NRPR playbook, her journey from vice president to CEO, and why she believes there are no shortcuts to building a diamond standard reputation.
We built something called the NRPR playbook. When everyone's on the same page and they know what the next move is supposed to be, they're not wasting time.
What metrics or performance indicators you usually track for your clients?
You don't want just a press hit to live and then die. You want it to live and be amplified so that it is consistently shared. I think we live in a culture where everybody's looking for the shortcut, right? And so those are not the people that we like to hire. The first one is definitely lead by example. If you're a lazy leader, your people see that and they're gonna follow it.
How have you positioned NRPR group to attract the kinds of clients you want to, and how do you differentiate from other agencies? Welcome back to the Next Move with Venkat. Nicole, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Nicole. So could you please start telling about yourself and about your business for our audience?
Sure. Yeah. So I have been in PR and marketing for about 26 years now. But my firm is 11 years old. So I got my start very early on. I grew up in Silicon Valley and got my undergraduate degree in public relations at San Jose State, which was at the time basically one of the top PR programs in the country because there weren't very many at that time. And it was just very, very well known, had incredible professors and a great sort of start in Silicon Valley when I graduated. Right after that, I worked for the then Oakland Raiders, where I got my entertainment my first foot into an entertainment sort of role in public relations. Following my couple of years with the Raiders, I went to work for a company called Moby TV, which is the company that brought live streamed television to basically all of the cell phones in the United States. So really started building a name for myself there as being someone who, one, was one of the very first mobile publicists in the world, and two, digital entertainment as it was starting. Basically, I was right there at the beginning of it. So from there, moved to Los Angeles, where I worked for a company called Demand Media. And then one of the largest firms in LA at that time was Bender Helper Impact, which later got bought by 42 West. And I decided after, I think I had 14 years under my belt, I was vice president of digital entertainment at BHI, that I was ready to start my own firm. Here I am 11 years later, almost 12, still going very strong and still loving what I do.
Got it. Can't believe you have so many years of experience because you look so young, but
We
listening
love
by
it.
your
It's lots
yeah
of moisturizer and drinking lots of water.
yeah got it. So what prompted you to launch this NRPR group, and what gap did you want to fix in the market?
Yeah, great question. So the gap that I wanted to fill, right, was almost like in Jerry Maguire, for any of you guys who've seen that Tom Cruise movie, where he just has a vision where, he's actually an agent, but working at a big agency where there's tons and tons of clients, not a lot of love that they were able to give to the clients. And it was almost like, okay, they're looking at the bottom line, they're not looking at the relationship between agent and client. He had a vision for creating something of his own where he could actually give his clients more of that TLC while still making them happy and still being able to make a living. And when I was working at the large firm that I was at, basically my accounts were Hulu, YouTube, MGO, some massive digital entertainment brands. And I had younger folks under me coming to my office saying that they were stretched, they were stressed, they weren't happy. They're on all of these accounts and they're not able to produce as much as they wanted. And it really got me thinking. I was like, this is such a bummer that, the margins are basically what everyone's paying attention to. Clients are being overcharged. They're getting a smaller team than they think that they're getting. Me, as a deliverer and an A+ student, I'm overworking myself just to make sure that those results are there. But I'm thinking I should have more people on my team. It just didn't make any sense. And it was like, everything at the top was being benefited and anybody basically middle management and below was not. And that really hurt me. I wasn't happy about that. And I thought there just has to be a different way, looking at the numbers and making sure that if a client is paying X amount in their retainer, that they're getting the most out of that retainer. And so I just felt, okay, I'm a vice president here. The next step up would be president. After that would be CEO. So why don't I just jump to CEO and get this done? And so that's what I did. And that's basically what we've created where, when a client pays their retainer, they are getting the absolute most that they can get out of it. Our margins are smaller, but we have a happier team. We have people who have been with me since day one because they know I'm looking out for their balance in life. Before, people didn't think it could be done, and here I am doing it.
Interesting. Yeah. So what processes or systems have you built to ensure that your client work, media relationships, creative output all stay consistently grow?
Yeah. So we built something called the NRPR playbook where, when people are aware of the fact that there's a play, almost like a football team going out there and it's like, okay, what's the play here? When everyone's on the same page and they know what the next move is supposed to be, they're not wasting time overthinking it. So, very early on in creating NRPR Group, I basically took all of the years and the things and the mistakes that I had seen be made, put things in a playbook to basically save my team time and energy from making those same mistakes. If a client does this, this is the play. If a client does this, this is the play. And we will revisit where it makes sense. But if, I'm a believer in, if it's not broken, don't try to come in and fix it. There's no need. And I see a lot of companies where it's like, well, let's just try to redo this. And it's like, well, redo what? Redo something that's already working? Why are you going to waste your time on that? So for me, it's if this works and it's consistent, then that's just one less thing for people on my team to have to worry about. And it's more time where my clients get our energy focused on media relations and building friendships with the media and paying attention to what it is they're writing or reporting on. And that continuously keeps working. So I'm like, if it's not broken, don't waste time trying to fix it. This is a good system. We train everybody on the system. When they first come in, they learn the NRPR way of doing certain things, and it makes them feel comfortable and happy. They don't have to overthink anything. They get to be in their creative wheelhouse versus where did we put that file? There's a way that we name our files. There's a way that we send invites. It just makes it for, once the admin stuff is kind of behind everybody and everyone knows the steady flow, we can all function better and more fluidly, actually.
That sounds really so amazing. Yeah. To be honest, I really hate the admin work, and yeah, I always wanted to keep it so tidy and organized.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm still trying to keep it aligned. But what you're saying is really amazing. The system you've been implementing in the business, it is really so amazing. Yeah. So what metrics or performance indicators you usually track for your clients?
Yeah, the first one is usually just volume, right? What is the easiest thing to measure? And oftentimes, especially if we're working with a startup who has never been recognized by the media, that sort of barometer is here. It's low. It's 0. You have never been interviewed by the media. Well, the first KPI is just volume. Can we take it from 0 to 5, 10, 15? And that in and of itself is already a win, because then at that point you go from having no earned media to having some, right? And then from there you start measuring the reach of those media outlets and then basically the amplification of it. How many times was it shared on social media? You don't want just a press hit to live and then die. You want it to live and be amplified so that it is consistently shared. Those numbers and the reach go up. More people have an opportunity to find you. And then from there, you just keep growing the volume and then the volume of the quality. So it really just, you start looking at, okay, you're going to aim here, but if the guys up here don't want to talk to you yet because maybe you haven't raised any money or you haven't done anything significant enough to warrant their attention, well, then let's also start here and go here. Well, if everybody here will talk to you, what does that create? It creates a bubble that gives the other two layers FOMO. Then media are like, hey, how come we're not talking to these people? We definitely need to, because it looks like they're movers and shakers and they're making things happen. So then we start really measuring by the level and the tiers and how often those people are talking to you. And then plain and simple, are these things helping you close business? At the end of the day, you don't just want vanity PR and vanity PR metrics. You want for your PR to basically be feeding also your sales funnel. Is this giving your sales team new fodder to go back to either existing customers to strengthen their view of you? Or is this also going to potential business that they're trying to close? And hey, by the way, did you see this great feature of us in Financial Times? This goes to, this speaks to the problem that you and I were talking about when we were talking about what internal issues you guys are dealing with. So you need to be able to take the outcome, plant it in with your team. And then that's kind of where I guide my clients as well. I give them suggestions on where else they can take this press to basically strengthen what they're doing in-house within their business. So that's a lot of what we measure, just because we want to make sure it's hitting the bottom line in a great way. And we're not just looking at numbers and having them not translate into anything that has to do with the business.
Got it. Yeah. If we talk about the marketing and the client acquisition for you, so you are not just selling the services, you are selling the trust and you are selling the intangible outcomes. So how have you positioned NRPR group to attract the kinds of clients you want to, and how do you differentiate from other agencies?
Yeah, I mean, results, right? Like how we really stand out. We will launch a campaign or campaigns for clients. We'll make sure that we report really well. And we basically say, this is where you were at. This is where you are now. This is where you could be going with this. And this is where strategically we want to be taking you. And so from there, we work with our clients and then they decide, okay, yeah, let's keep this going. Well, happy clients are your best marketing tool. A lot of the times it's our clients picking up the phone and, hey, I have a friend who just started this business, or I have a friend who is now an executive over here and they're looking for great PR, or, hey, I have this new business because you guys just helped me exit. One of my clients, we helped them, they had basically given up on PR and we had taken over as maybe like their fourth agency and they were disappointed, leading up to it. And then finally I was like, listen, what kind of tools do you have for me to work with to take to the media? Well, we basically uncovered everything, started building their thought leadership, started them growing. That had helped them attract more money. And then they had their first huge exit 3 years after we were working together. Then they pumped the brakes, started a new company. We did the PR for the new company. And then they just had an exit last week. So these happy entrepreneurs who are doing good things in the world and building our great results, that one client that we've now helped exit twice has introduced us to at least 8 clients and projects, at least.
Mm.
So really our results speak for themselves. Our clients are very happy. They continue to return back to us. They know that we're not full of what. We actually garner results. We care, we dig in, and we do the work, right? And that work then translates into their business growth, which means we all grow together.
Yeah, completely agree with you. And apart from the referrals, do you really focus on any other channels like organic or paid or any other campaigns in specific for the client acquisition?
Yeah, great question. I mean, the beauty is with the work that we do, we haven't had to. We've been very blessed that way, but we will put money behind, small social media spends to enhance some of our social media growth. But we do PR for ourselves as well, right? I will go out and I will speak to things, to trends and all of that. Our own PR and our own marketing, applying for awards, winning those awards. Really, sometimes all people have to do is the basics. And I think people forget about that and they go straight towards, hey, I just want to use this tool and have it do all of the work. Well, are you doing PR for yourself? Are you applying for awards and winning? Are you making sure that you're getting testimonials from your clients? Well, if you're not even doing the bare minimum. And those things sometimes can translate into wins for your business without you spending too much money.
Got it. So, Nicole, as you scale an agency in a fast moving industry, so the operational side becomes so huge and the client servicing, the internal culture, the growth strategies and all. So what have been the toughest challenges for you and what are your current challenges right now?
Yeah. I would say the current challenge has been always the challenge, which is really finding good quality people who want to put in the time, do the work, and do it well, rather than just looking for the shortcuts. We are an agency that will put our best foot forward, especially when it comes to media relations, right? We will pitch someone one to one. We will foster that relationship. We will make sure that they know that we're paying attention to them. Problem that we've had from day one, which is really finding good quality people who want to stay and do the work hard, and put in the time. I think we live in a culture where everybody's looking for the shortcut, right? And so those are not the people that we like to hire. So finding those people are like they're diamonds in the rough. But when we do find them, they stay. And that's how we've actually been able to grow, right? I still have the first person that I ever hired at NRPR. She's still with us. And we have a lot of people who on average have been with us 5-7 years, and we're only 11 years old. So that is really how you build a really great business, is you find people who are like-minded, which is, they also believe in the hard work, putting in the time, building the relationships, doing it right. And you just really take care of them. That's really what it is. And if someone's not doing a great job, you get them out quickly. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but it's like if you know that someone is inherently trying to find shortcuts or a little bit lazy, that does not work in our culture. You got to find ways to, let them know, hey, this isn't a fit for you, for us. We need to make room for someone who's going to stick. And I think a lot of people avoid that. They don't want to hurt people's feelings. Well, you're not doing that, then you're hurting your own business and you're hurting your clients. So we're really just about quality people, quality clients, and quality work.
Makes sense. So you're working with different industries and the different clients. So how do you tailor your value propositions for these different types of clients in your business?
Well, I think no matter what the industry, everyone is human and every human wants good results. And I think, again, that's really just how we set ourselves apart. The type of relationship building that we do with the attention that we give to the media, that translates into results over years of time. And that is something that no matter what industry you're in, results translate. That's ultimately what people want. So we build relationships in all the industries with the media that we basically go to. Those people remember us, they continue to work with us, and it translates into good results. So, industry by industry, every human is the same in that way, with wanting the good outcome and the good output.
So AI is everywhere now. So how you are integrating it in your business and what are your future plans about the AI especially?
That is such a great question. We're certainly not running from it, right? We need to embrace it. Almost like when the internet, had the bubble and everybody was using search and, oh my gosh, how is this going to change? And, change marketing. All it did was open up different avenues for marketing and PR. I mean, ultimately, if you're good at what you do, you know how to write, strategy. Well, if you're using AI to basically tee you up, the thing is, AI doesn't work without the humans. So if we humans are smart and we know basically how to plug the things in, all AI is a tool, no matter what type you're using. So it's important that you embrace it. You can't ignore it. AI is everywhere. And so that is basically what we're doing. We're embracing it. We're learning it. It's still very early days, but certainly not running away from it. I use it a lot for research. I use it to help with smoothing things out or any final thoughts. We definitely just use it for ideation. Like, hey, give me a couple creative words for this. But yeah, we're certainly embracing it as much as we can, because I found that in some ways it does shave time. And when it shaves time, that's more that we can give to our clients. So we're not running away from it by any means. And we're digging in and learning more and more AI tools as we go so that we can then bring that value to our clients.
Got it. To talk about the future goals for your business, so where do you want to see NRPR Group in the next 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, in the next year, I guess I would just I really love to see us grow in the event space, finding that like more and more human contact, especially contact with media in person, it just goes such a long way. But yeah, growing there, also growing our team, it'd be nice to hire another one or two people. We are growing and in need of the help, which is always a good place to be. So just growing our team with a healthy number of people, continuing to service our clients, utilizing AI more to basically help all of us so that we can then help our clients, and then, finding more clients maybe in the event space where we can be in front of media a lot more and foster those relationships.
Got it. So, yeah, before we wrap up, could you please share 3 key principles that you believe every founder, marketer, or agency leader should adopt?
Okay, good one. I think the first one is definitely lead by example. If you're a lazy leader, your people see that and they're going to follow it. So if you want a strong company where people are going to mirror your values, make sure that you encompass those values and that you have them yourself. You lead, by example. And, the other thing too is uh, the stronger you get, right? Another principle I believe in is constantly strengthening and educating yourself, because as you do that, the team around you, it's almost like they inherit that knowledge because you should be there then sharing it, which is exactly why I went and got my MBA. I got my undergrad in PR, but I went and got an MBA because I knew the more I am strengthening myself in, the ways of how businesses are run, how they think, how executives are thinking, then I can bring that back to my team, bring that back to my clients, and that knowledge strengthens everybody. So that's definitely a principle that I live and abide by. That's also why I'm trying to learn more AI tools. The stronger I get with them, even though I'm not always going to be the one using them, at least I have a knowledge base and I know basically um, that I can, talk shop with my team. The other thing is just plain and simple, hard work pays off. And I think people are running from hard work and they're, like I said, looking for the shortcut. And sometimes the shortcut becomes the long way because that's where you make all of the mistakes, trying to actually just, skip the important pieces of the things that you do. Automation can sometimes kill human interaction. And so you want to make sure that you're doing it well. And even if you are automating things, look at each step in the process. Make sure that you take that time, go the long way, because that eventually becomes then the short way. So, the universe does reward hard work. So if you're working hard and you are, focused, good things are going to come from that.
Yeah, Nicole, thank you so much for all your insights. I know our audiences as well walk away with so many insights to grab from you. So it is really amazing talking with you. And yeah, if anyone wants to find you out, where they can check out.
Yeah, our website is www.nrprgroup.com. Or it's easy to find me on LinkedIn if you just look for Nicole Rodrigues with an S, Rodrigues, and NRPR Group together. That's usually how you'll find me the quickest. And then, yeah. And if you have any questions for anyone in my company, if you send an email to info@NRPR Group, that will usually get to me, especially if you have a specific question for me or anyone looking to apply and or be a client of ours.
Got it. Amazing. Thank you so much, Nicole, for joining this episode. And thank you, audience, for watching this, and share it with someone who really like this type of content, and subscribe and like the episode. See you again. This is Next Move with Venkat.
Well, this was great. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nicole. See you again. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.